Hello, this is Otto and thank you very much. The last time I promised, today I would be talking of what is the right way of coming to Europe and America if you must. So, first of all, it is a philosophical question you have to resolve yourself. Do you have to come to Europe? That is not for me to answer. And the second question is, if you are coming to Europe, to do what? And the third question is, how do you want to do it? Now, if you want to come here for tourism, apply for a tourist visa. Come and get involved in your tourism and go back to your country. You see any part of Europe you want. Simple. You have to prove that you'll go back. Give you a tourist visa for 1-2 weeks. After that, back to your country. Many people have come and gone. The advantage of using a tourist visa, if you come and go back, next time you want it, you'll be given for a longer period, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year. But those who want to come here for educational purposes, if you go to any embassy, have this in your mind. The biggest business, the biggest fundraiser for the European and American governments in this world is visa fees. Just have this in your mind before you go to any embassy. They make money, they generate revenue. In the year 2015 alone, the United Kingdom collected 45 million pounds in visa fees. And out of that, 13 million pounds were for people who are denied visas. 45 million pounds raised in the year 2015 by United Kingdom is bigger than the budgets of African countries. You can combine my own country, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi. That money funds their budget. That is the equivalent to the GDP of those countries. But the British government is just raising it in visa fees. So when you come to these embassies, one, you have to be truthful or consistent with the facts you give. Name, what is your order of name? How is it in the papers? Did you change in high school? If you have altered any name, you need to get to a lawyer, to an attorney like me, and get the papers corrected, the order of the names in the papers. Date of birth must be consistent with the information in the passport. Every information has to be correct. If it is slightly inconsistent, you have to correct them. Because when you get to these embassies, they take your fingerprints. Even when they deny you a visa and they have your fingerprints, your fate is sealed on this planet Earth. Because they share information with other governments that this person is not straight. He has issues in the paper. So the moment they take your fingerprints and deny you a visa, just know they will share information. Canada and US and United States share information. So be very careful before you go to the embassies to give your fingerprints. Your information must be correct. The second thing, many of these countries issue visas if they know and think and believe you are going to return to your country. I just stated why you are coming here is your own reason. So some embassies will ask for a land title, evidence to show that you own property, something that ties you to your respective country, something that ties you to Rwanda, something that ties you to Mali, something that ties you to Gabon. So if you have a land title in your name, that's a plus. They would require a bank statement. And in certain cases, fixed deposits and bank guarantees. You need to be a somebody. Some they will need you to show you have $100,000 cash in a bank account. So when you are a somebody, then they will say, okay, we can allow this person to come to our country. But when your account is red, the last money we showed in your account was 6 months ago. You have been having money, but you don't want the money to show in your bank. And the day they ask for a bank statement, the bank statement looks vague. You are not helping yourself. So if you're listening to me, keep your bank accounts active and in the radar. Have the titles in your name. So when you go to apply, whether for a tourist visa, whether you go to apply for a student's visa, they will factor in this. Then they may issue you a visa and then you come to Europe. The best opportunities here are educational. They have good master's programs in highly specialized areas that we don't see it in our continent. They have good PhD programs. So when you come here for education, be aware that two things will happen. One, they will issue you a visa or a national identity card, and they will write on it, not allowed to work. So if you're coming that I'm going to London, jump off the plane and start sweeping the streets, let that view stop today. The Pan-Africanist is telling you. They will write not allowed to work, no recourse to work. And when they write that on your national identity card, if I may use that word, no one will employ you. Because if they employ you, any company employs you, and they get you working, they will find the company very expensively, like 10,000 euros, and they will even take them to prison. So be very clear, if you're coming to study, you're going to be at school. And when the time for education, the time for that school passes, and you want an extension, they will ask the school to write. They will need evidence to show that you are still in that school. They may even need evidence that you have paid tuition for the next financial year. You could also be wondering that I have a relative in United Kingdom. I have a relative in US. Should they invite me? And then when they invite me, some of you have been requesting your relatives that please invite me so that I come there. And you have not been getting the invitations. Why? Because they know if you come here and you disappear, they will go to prison for 7 to 9 years, or they will be fined 40,000 euros. 40,000 euros. So these relatives of yours, if you tell them, I want to come there and I get work, they already know you want to cause them problems. It's like you're inviting them to go to prison. So they are not going to extend you that invitation because you're going to cause them problems. The invitation is tied to their address. When your day for the visa expires, they will go to their address and say, where is Peter? Peter has disappeared. You said you are the one invited. The next thing, police station. The next thing, prison. So you are there that I'm waiting for an invitation from my uncle in Canada. You have now heard. Ottawa has told you. So through education, when you come here, you finish your course. If you are young, you can integrate in the society. By integration, I mean you can have a professional course that your learning institution can ask government that they should employ you. Then you get a job formally. That would be good news. You can get a good paying job. Many people came for education and have remained. The next thing, some people can integrate through marriage. If you get married, but don't forget that the day one you are filling your form, when they ask for marital status, it's good to show that you are married because it will show them that you have a reason to go back. You have a wife and children home. So when you come here and you decide to remain by virtue of integrating or marrying, then you have to go home and file all the divorce papers. Because in most of these countries, polygamy is illegal. You file all the divorce papers with your spouse, and then you come here and marry and integrate. And in some countries like Germany, once you are married to their citizen, then you know that your way of life is fairly open. Well, a few young men have crossed the ocean. They have become lucky and gotten married to some citizens in this part of the world. That is their luck. Very isolated cases. Don't ever think that if you jump off the plane in Europe, then you start working, you start collecting money from the dustbin. Who told you? Look at these pictures. Just look at these videos I've recorded. Look at what our brothers are doing here. Look at them, check. Sleeping on the streets, begging for money. Some of them, if they had not come to Europe, they would not be begging on the street. Things are hard. See what our brothers are doing. Look. See that? They cannot get any gainful employment. Please share this information to our brothers out there.